Eamonn Holmes rages at Christopher Biggins as tense King Charles debate explodes. Eamonn Holmes had a few words to say to his GB News guest Christopher Biggins as they clashed over the royals' decision to not visit New Zealand on their tour. Had an expletive-filled reaction to Christopher Biggins' fury at the royals leaving New Zealand out on their upcoming royal tour. The 64-year-old presenter was on deck to present Monday's GB News along with his trusty co-host Isabel Webster. Aside from discussing England's crushing loss against Spain in the Euros 2024 final, the duo weighed in on King Charles and Queen Camilla's royal tour announcement after it was revealed they would not be stopping off in New Zealand, despite visiting Australia and Samoa. Christopher was on hand to give his verdict on the decision, pointing out, "It's bizarre. It's bizarre thinking. And I think if I was in New Zealand I'd be very upset," referring to the fact the nation isn't getting a royal visit. Eamonn clearly disagreed with Christopher's point as he exclaimed, "Why? It's in the end of nowhere. How can you expect the sick man to go that distance?" Isabel's jaw dropped wide open as she agreed with her co-host, adding, "Yes, it is a long way." Eamonn continued justifying his opinion, "It's too far. It's absolutely ridiculous," as Christopher attempted to defuse the situation, admitting, "I agree. But if he is going, why go too?" before being cut off by Eamonn. "Because it's an extra 4 hours each way, which is either hours, which is a working day." "Goodness me," Eamonn fumed. Isabel jumped to Christopher's defense by agreeing with his point, adding, "If you can get as far as Australia," but was then cut off by Eamonn. "Don't miss. Beverly Hills 90,210 star Shannon Doherty dies after heartbreaking cancer battle, LATEST. Amanda Abington breaks silence on Strictly Hell, I would vomit and cry, AVLED. Victoria Coren Mitchell's hidden pregnancy at 51 unveiled, INSIGHT. "It's like going to bloody Antarctica," Eamonn butted in as Isabel joked, "Steady on," in an attempt to calm her co-host down. The royal tour news comes after it was announced the king was diagnosed with testicular cancer. It was revealed that he underwent 9 weeks of chemotherapy for testicular cancer in early 2023. But now, seemingly on the mend, King Charles and his wife Queen Camilla will be jetting down under to visit Australia and Samoa later this year in October. RLATDAORTICLES. Asterisk, Ruth Langsford blames herself for divorce and won't rush to find new man. Asterisk, Ruth Langsford shows Eamonn Holmes what he's missing as she unveils makeover. Asterisk, Eamonn Holmes cryptic Ruth remark as he shares new snap after health scare. Asterisk, King Charles and Queen Camilla confirmed for tour of Australia and Samoa. Asterisk, Eamonn Holmes mentions Ruth in new photo before public marriage proposal. Eamonn Holmes crushing 5-word verdict on England's devastating Euros loss. Eamonn Holmes has spoken out on England's devastating Euros final loss against Spain during Monday's installment of GB News. Eamonn Holmes has dished his opinion on England's loss against Spain in the Euros 2024 final. The 64-year-old presenter was up bright and early to front Monday's installment of GB News with his co-host Isabel Webster. It didn't take long for the GB News team to bring up Spain's victory in the Euros final as sports correspondent Paul Coit dropped in to discuss the main stories surrounding England's loss. Eamonn introduced the segment, poignantly stating, "Well, football is not coming home." The former This Morning host went on to detail England's agonizing game as he pointed out the team lost by 2-1. Isabel added, 58 years of hurt continues, as she introduced Paul into the segment, before noting, "And frankly, the better team won. I've said this too many times, I've seen this film a million times before. We always have the hope before these games, but whether there is true belief, you can try and manufacture that belief, and think you know what, this is it," Paul chimed in. When the second half began, Spain tore England apart on the left wing, and no one plugged and no one blocked it, and both goals came from the left wing, he said. The last time the England football team actually brought it home was in 1966. Eamonn Holmes had a few words to say to his GB News guest Christopher Biggins as they clashed over the Royals' decision to not visit New Zealand on their tour. Had an expletive-filled reaction to Christopher Biggins' fury at the Royals leaving New Zealand out on their upcoming Royal tour. The 64-year-old presenter was on deck to present Monday's GB News along with his trusty co-host Isabel Webster.